We got that out the way. Now we're about to roll into our first topic of this last year. A lot of things that happen in the thinking process of a person. I think this would go for anybody, man, woman, girl, boy, alien, extraterrestrial, whoever you are, you know what I'm saying?
Universal truths.
Universal truths. So the first one is expectations. Realistic expectations or unrealistic expectations. And y'all gotta excuse me, I got this retainer in my mouth, so it sounds like, you eat a thick piece of bologna sandwich and it gets stuck at the roof of your mouth. That's what it feels like.
I can't relate. I don't eat bologna. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you did one before. So that's what it kind of feel like. But if I slur or something, just forgive me, man. Charge it to my mouth, not my heart. So, and our first on expectations, the realistic expectations. Like, if you find a job or you go into the job market, what do you have realistic expectations or do you have unrealistic expectations? So what you think about that?
Yeah, it's like everybody wants their dream job. You know what I mean? They have the highest hopes. You know what I mean? But some of those things are just dreams or fantasies. You know what I mean with it. So we have to look at job descriptions, do our due research so we can know what to realistically expect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, we read this, we get this much time off, we get this much vacations and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we assume, that we're going to have a good work environment. We assume we're going to have good coworkers and things like that. So when you assume, a lot of times that creates those unrealistic expectations.
And a lot of times, when you don't have the experience of working at different jobs, you don't have a realistic expectation sometimes.
Yeah.
You see this vacation time, you see all of this free time that they give you, but realistically, if you worked at enough jobs, you have to be approved to use the time.
Exactly.
So you might have 200 vacation hours, but if you're not approved or you have a job that has high demand that you have to be there, when do you get to use that time?
Yeah, you have deadlines, projects due,
Right.
And you can take the time off if we're fully staffed, if you have coverage.
Right.
Well, we got a high turnover.
Right.
And we're always short.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And they don't tell you that in the interview.
No.
They just want to bring you in.
But a little sign. We have 3 interviews or 4 interviews today.
Yeah.
For your so are you that short? You know what I mean? So, and that's just one example of sometimes those benefits come with other stipulations and can change some of those expectations.
And another way to have a realistic expectation is, like, let's say if you want to go to school or you want to go into a trade, look up the information as much as you can to know what's the average pay for their field, what's the top end pay for their field, what are the chances of you getting to the middle or top end or, the success for that field, develop a realistic expectation. Because some people, I've done it when I was younger. You don't have it realistic. I mean, we were talking about with the state. People look at the pay range and they say, well, I can get the top. I can go in and get it. It says 60,000. I should go in and get 60,000. But you're not being realistic. You don't have the experience enough to be realistic about it. That they're going to offer you the starting range of their salary.
Yeah, and we don't mean the job experience. We just have experience, in the job market when you're interviewing and reading job descriptions, things like this. So it says from 40 to 60. And you're saying, I'm going to get closer to 60. You know what I mean? That's maybe not a realistic expectation.
Right, because the truth to it is they don't do negotiation. That's why they always tell you starting salary. They tell you the starting salary. So you can already know before you even start filling out the application, are you okay with this salary? Are you okay with the beginning salary? So your expectations can be more realistic now.
Yeah, and I would definitely always start with doing research. If you can, shadow a person at that specific position or that organization. Talk to people, because a lot of organizations, bigger organizations, they have situations where there's a lot of jobs within the company, and you just assume that I'm going to move. They say you can move after 3 months, but your manager might decide it's after 1 year. You know what I mean? Or they don't want to lose you.
Right.
So it's always going to be issues. So moving around is like, speaking with someone who works there, they'll be like, well, man, it's real hard to get out of this department. Because, she don't want to let people go. Or, if you have 2 tardies, then you can't transfer. You know what I mean? So transferring is hard and moving up is hard. You know what I mean? that can
And
help you match your expectations.
I think one thing that is just really need to hit home, especially for the youth and even middle-aged people, you know, what is your expectation of yourself? Like, what's your expectation? Can you take constructive criticism? Or do you have an unrealistic expectation of what you do and who you are? Because sometimes people get offended if somebody say, well, I think that you can do better. You starting to be a little lazy. You need to step it up. Man, you talking about me, man. What you talking about, man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, are you being realistic with your expectations? Are you being unrealistic now, you know? And sometimes you got to be able to you can't see yourself in third person. You know, like everybody else can see you. John can see me, but I can't see myself the way John see me. He can see stuff that I probably won't see. I may think I'm just grand and I'm just, you know, everything I do is like, you know, rose petals and flowers. But he's like, no. You need to work on this. You kind of gotta, you know, rough around the edges. You need to work on your communication. You need to be a little bit more well-rounded. But if I get offended, and it's like, wait a minute, what you mean, man? How you gonna tell me that, man? I'm your friend, I'm your boy, man. Why you gonna tell me that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not being realistic at that point now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the skill, looking at yourself is a skill in itself.
Yes.
Like you need to even physically, it's really hard, unnatural for us to look at ourselves.
Right.
Our eyes are designed to look at others. You know what I mean? We actually have to have a special tool called a mirror to even see our own faces.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to realize, like, so without the invention of a mirror or the reflections of water, we wouldn't even see our own faces.
Right.
So we can't, you know, even we're supposed to be experts on ourselves, but I can't tell you if it's something on my face without a mirror or my brother telling me, hey, man, you know, something on your face, you need to kind of clean that up, get the booger out of your nose, whatever that situation may be. So we don't have, and to like, when you look at yourself, you can't see your personality in the mirror. You can't see your